What's going on, guys? Kimchi Cowboy here with another video. Today, kind of long overdue. Maybe some of you are interested, some of you aren't. But today we're going to be talking about my silencer or suppressor. This is the CGS SCI SIX by also in part with Irregular Defense and Slade. It is a dedicated 5.56-223 suppressor, and I've had it for a couple months now and probably have put at least 2,000, 3,000 rounds through it. So I think I can give you a good, somewhat review of this. Now, I will preface, and I kind of say this in all my videos and reviews, not a professional shooter, not ex-law enforcement or anything like that, or military. I'm just a dude who enjoys going out to the range, hanging out with buddies, plinking, doing drills, just getting better and being the best that I can be out here at the range in case anything ever needs to happen too, I guess. So with that being said, you can take anything I say with a grain of salt. You can agree, you can disagree, you can question, which perfectly fine. Comment down below. I'm also not a scientist by any means, so I don't have any dB readers, decibel readers, or doing anything like that. Pew Science has a great review, incredible breakdown of all like the noise and suppression and decibel readings and whatnot. So if you really want an in-depth, thorough read, I would definitely recommend checking out his review. You can find it on Reddit, on most forums as well. Pew Science of the CGS SCI SIX. Now, SCI SIX suppressor is fully 3D printed, and that's something that I thought was pretty awesome. Before I was looking at suppressors, I was actually looking at the Surefire RC2 or even a YHM can. Wasn't too sure what I wanted. Capital Armory is not very far away from me, so I went into the store because I needed to set up an account and everything like that, to trust, whatnot. And they actually, before asking like, hey, what suppressor are you in, they ask you what are your needs. And I basically said I just want a dedicated 5.56 can. I want it to be the least flash coming out of it because I do shoot under night vision. That's something I wanted to do. Weight wasn't really an issue and length wasn't really an issue. So he actually did pull out the RC2. He also pulled out the RC3. He pulled out the CGS SCI SIX, and then he pulled out one other can, the Omega, I want to say. I'm not too sure. I forget that one. But he really prefaced this one because 3D welds means when the can gets hot, it is full auto rated, that welds are the first thing to break on a suppressor. And since this is 3D printed, it has no welds, you're not going to have any real failures except probably baffle strikes. Now, speaking of baffle strikes, the old design, I want to say, or number one thing was that the threads on the muzzle device to the can would start walking off, and that would lead to a loose can rattling back and forth, which could lead to baffle strikes. So far I've had zero issues with that. Supposedly they fixed the design and it's pretty good. It is backwards thread, so you will thread it onto the left to put it on, thread it off to the right to get it off, so just know that. You can cinch this can down super tight. I use a wrench just to make sure I don't have any walk-offs, but you can do it hand tight. I've done that plenty of times. No issues, just getting it off. You will need a wrench because of the carbon buildup. Something that I wish CGS included with the can was the ported end cap. When it comes with it, with the can itself, you do not get a ported end cap, and this can was designed in part with the Noveske 11.5 inch upper. I don't have a Noveske 11.5 inch. This is an Aero Precision 11.5 inch. Rytec Arms, he has 11.5 by Noveske, so it would be kind of cool if we could toss this can on there and see how it runs. But when I threw it on here, it was incredibly gassy, even with the Raptor Radian SD charging handle. Yeah, that was basically it for gas mitigation. I didn't get a bootleg bulk carrier group. This is just your regular Aero Precision bulk carrier group. And then so I did put a video up asking like, guys have any ideas how to mitigate gas on this thing? It's super gassy even on my 16 inch, but even more so on this. People recommended the ported end cap, so that's what I went with. I was able to get it off pretty easily. I sat on it, 2 wrenches back and forth, knocked it off. One guy specifically said, no way you got that off with just those wrenches, and I did. I mean, I sat on it and just wrenched it off. People have had to hit it with an impact wrench or a socket set, even heated up crazy amounts, but for me, no problem. So if you guys do want to get the ported end cap, just try to sit on this with your thigh, get 2 wrenches, and just crank the shit out of this thing. Once I got the ported end cap, night and day difference. The gas on the 11.5 basically gone, gas on the 16 gone. You do notice it, but it's not as profound as when it had no ported end cap. So the ported end cap basically makes it a flow-through suppressor. And yeah, it does its job. It's $100, so I don't understand why CGS just couldn't include that. I guess they're just money grabbing, but anyways, definitely pick up the ported end cap if you get the suppressor. It makes a world of difference. Moving on to sound and tone, it is hearing safe. The first shot always is the loudest, so once you get that initial crack out of the way, you can fire off the next rounds, no problem. So if you want to shoot without ear protection, it is doable outside. Inside, I have not tried, but I guarantee probably inside it will be still very loud, echoing off the walls. So if you're hunting with this, or you're just out here at the range and you want to see what it sounds like without ear pro, no biggie, you can definitely do it just fine. I do also notice sometimes that the first shot does produce kind of a fireball, but then after that everything's gone. Whereas buddy's RC2, when you're out here night shooting every couple rounds, you definitely would have a flash. Now that it's colder though, I have noticed that there are more fireballs coming out the end, so we'll see today. Today's even colder, it's about 38 degrees. So we will see how it does today. Also, that was on the 16-inch. Today I'm running the 11.5. We'll see if that makes any difference. But overall, incredibly happy with the suppressor. It is hefty in weight. I'll put it on a scale so you guys can see, or I'll just post up the stats over here. Not enough though, where if you work out and you're just an average dude who's physically fit and can do household chores, fix the fence, you won't really notice after throwing it on here, and especially with training, muscle memory, you'll just get used to it. It's no big deal. So there are definitely lighter cans out there, but this can, like I said before, you get pretty used to it and you won't notice it. I don't have any heat wrap around it, but like any other suppressor, it does get hot, so just be careful of that when you drop it down, mindful of your inner thigh or your calves. Overall, yeah, I mean, I really like the suppressor a lot. It was the first suppressor I ever bought. I did do it through a trust, so it did take about 6 months, I want to say, whereas this suppressor over here, the Spectre 9, I did individual, and that took 5 days. If you're interested in getting a suppressor and you don't want to follow like the trend of everyone on Instagram and social media who usually just get the Surefire RC2, I would definitely recommend this. This is about $1,100 without a tax stamp, so you're looking around $1,300. Definitely a viable option out there. I think I really like it. My buddies really like it. My buddy who was dead set on a RC2 is kind of like skeptical now if he wants this or something else. I think the main selling point is the 3D prints. Not all of us, many of us don't have full auto, but we also don't want our suppressors to break over time or to break at all. So the fact that this has no weld points going back to the beginning won't break like that. Ported end cap really helps. And also, I'm a Slade dude, so I like Slade a lot, and I'm happy he came out with a product that works really well. But that's kind of my rundown of the CGS SCI SIX Suppressor. Works really great under nods, minimal flash. Once you throw the ported end cap on there, it becomes kind of a flow through, and the gas mitigation through an 11.5 inch or a 16 is basically none. Great tone to it, not that heavy, looks great, sounds great, and it does its job. So if you guys have any questions about the suppressor, please don't hesitate to ask down below, or any comments, anything I missed out. If you own one yourself, there's lots of great reviews out there. ANR, I want to say, or someone, he does a full review of it. I might be butchering his YouTube channel, but there's some decent reviews out there of this on YouTube as well. So go ahead, check those out if this is a purchase you want to make in the future. If you're new here, welcome, subscribe, possibly if you like the channel content. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.